What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another SGN video where it's all sim all the time, and we're going to talk about the Madden 24 trailer and initial developer diary or blog that was released, giving us some insight to the gameplay and franchise improvements. They will, of course, do additional deep dives for these where they go into further detail. So right now we're going to talk about them a little bit. I'm going to give you some of my opinion and speculation and what I think is really going to happen. And then we are going to have the trailer, which I know everyone has seen, but we're going to go through the trailer at a slower speed to see a lot of things that people might have missed. I think you're really going to enjoy that, so make sure you stick around for the end of the video for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. As a preface, I do not have a beta code yet. I'm waiting for mine, but even if I did, we are not allowed to talk about the beta if we've played it. Now, there is plenty of footage out there right now. People have leaked a ton of beta clips and gameplay. However, I don't think it's fair to watch those clips and talk about them for the simple fact is you don't know a lot of the variables and factors that those people were using. You don't know if they were doing things on arcade or what sliders they were doing or things like that. And so without those variables, I can't judge anything other than we have seen a crap ton of the Pat Mahomes throwing animation, which we were all worried that they were going to do the Odell Beckham treatment on that and make it pop up all the time. However, my hope is to generate hype and excitement. They have that tuned to occur very frequently in the beta to get people excited, and then when the game launches, that'll be tuned down to occur at a realistic rate, which should honestly only be like 2 to 3 times a season. Like, it's not a throw that you see every Sunday for damn sure, and it's not one that you see every couple games for damn sure. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about Hit Everything 2.0. Really, I think what happened is they launched Hit Everything last year, and they had a bug that prevented a lot of the tackles from occurring, because really when you announced the Hit Everything that you did last year, for us to have all of the repetitive tackles and animations that we had last year, I'm going to relate this to the bug that they had several years ago where they added a ton of new, I think it was over 100 new wide receiver catch animations, but there was a bug preventing them from actually occurring in game, and they didn't discover it for like 2 years. And so 2 years later, like, oh, by the way, we discovered this bug that was preventing all these catch animations from occurring that are now finally going to occur in the game. I honestly think that's what it is, because if you just introduced Hit Everything 1.0, you shouldn't really have to introduce 2.0 the very next year. That should be like a 2 or 3 year gap. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking that's what it is, and we're really not going to see too much new. I think we're just going to get what last year was intended to be. Skill-based passing is really, it's the same, other than you got some more unique throwing animations based on the scenarios of the throws, and better defensive reactions. I mean, you're supposed to see more defensive players swat and make plays on the ball versus it hitting them in the hands and then just dropping it. So we'll see how that goes. We all know quarterback awareness and behavior outside of offensive line and defensive line play. This is the biggest issue in the game. I make a video how to fix it every year. Hopefully they have this addressed so quarterbacks will not, do these crazy cross-body throws when they could run right ahead of them. The line of scrimmage is right there, and there's no one within them 15, 20 yards, but they just won't cross it. So hopefully we get a lot more quarterback scrambles that make sense. We get rid of these cross-body, cross-field throws with perfect accuracy that make no sense and do not happen. So I'm really excited to get my hands on that one. Ball carrier AI and pathfinding, this was another big one. You almost had to play on all Madden last year if you wanted ball carriers to not only hit the holes but utilize their moves realistically. So I'm hoping that this has been approved for all difficulty levels. Blocking eyes obviously needs to be improved, but until they go ahead and rebuild the whole offensive line, defensive line mechanic, it's really just going to be a Band-Aid. So I don't know what to expect with this. What I have heard of in the beta is that blocking now actually feels OP, whereas we've been asking for increased pass rush. which they've been giving it to us every year, and then people complain about and they nerf it. This year it seems like it's the opposite, so maybe they'll actually go ahead and improve the pass rush later on. We'll see. DB awareness and pass coverage. This is obviously we need them to nerf man coverage and boost zone coverage. It's as simple as that. Last year's zone coverage came out extremely strong, but with the new mechanic of having to throw people open, people couldn't adjust, especially in zone, so they actually nerfed zone and made man defense the meta. There needs to be more balance. I really hope that that's what it is. And who cares about post-play emotional enhancements, honestly. So good start to gameplay. Obviously, we'll get some more information when they drop future dev blogs down the line. So for franchise, obviously, they can add all the features they want. They need to make sure that they do the right thing and test them and make sure they work properly. Madden has struggled with this, and to be fair, so has 2K. We're not going to talk about that, but adding franchise features is great, but they need to be tested and work. Last year, they added the new Trade Finder feature that was completely broken as it did not take into account a player's age or dev trait. It literally went off of their overall, which is why you could trade an older player with a lesser dev trait that was like an 84 overall for a younger guy with a equal or higher dev trait that was an 82 or an 83, and they'd make the trade. It's a no-brainer, right? That needs to be tuned. So anyway, let's talk about it. Upgrade your team with the fan favorite mini games. So mini games are going to be good. How it is incorporated as far as improvements is going to be big. You guys know I hate XP-based progression. You do not get better from how you perform in games. You get better from how you perform in practice. So now, if the XP comes from mini games and how you perform in practice, and that's how players get better, and it has nothing to do with your performance during football games, then we're on to something. However, I do not think that's the case because I've still seen some things that would indicate that that's not the truth. But anyway, we need to get away from XP-based progression. Need to go back to a combination of MLB The Show and 2K where it's an overall system, but you have a boom or bust, a lot of variables that can change a player's potential. Anyway, mini games are going to be great. It's going to be more things to do in between games, which is huge. The new relocation, obviously we've been asking this for a long time. New cities, which is less important, but the new logos and uniforms are very, very good. I wish that they would give us the ability to make our own uniforms. I mean, they have Team Builder just sitting there. It's a 10-year-old feature. Like, bring it back, just turn the servers on for that thing. I don't get it. Anyway, this is still a win because we've had the same ones for like 10 years. Build your future using Free Agency 2.0. Now, again, they launched the new Free Agency feature last year, and it was good, but it wasn't great. So the fact that they're jumping in right away on that is, I give them massive kudos. They're not waiting a couple years to go fix things right away. They had a vision for free agency, and they are getting it how they wanted their vision. So props to them on that. Again, need to see how it actually functions. The fact that there's new unique draft generators is great. New trade logic tuning, so they said it's there. Let's see how good it is. Obviously, the new 6 trade slots are fantastic. New talent trees are good again, although, again, I hate the XP way of doing things. I wish there was another way, but it is what it is for now. And, the fact that they gave us the ability to restructure contracts is really cool as well. So there are some overall good things inside Franchise Mode. Hopefully they fix the progressive fatigue issue. They haven't mentioned that, but they also did mention that referees are coming back. So I'm assuming there's other things that we will find out about that they'll talk about in more detail later on in a further date. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play the trailer, but we're just slowing it down to 1/4 speed because I initially was going to do it at half speed, but it was still going fast enough that you really couldn't see a lot of things. So I went to 1/4 speed, which makes it obviously last a little bit longer than, is ideal, but it is what it is. You still get to check out a lot of things, and we're going to kind of go through that together here. Now, I have kind of gone through a little bit ahead of time to make sure there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. And then there's some other things that we'll kind of spitball here. Now, number one, blocking logic was improved. Why is the offensive tackle running parallel instead of, he wasn't running at an angle to go block the defender. He was running he was running in a straight line towards the sideline is how it looks. That's a horrible angle being taken. He met the defender with the quarterback at the same time, yet he was out in front of the quarterback. Horrible blocking angle there. So that makes me nervous when they say new blocking logic. In the trailer, it literally showed the same horrible angles being taken. Obviously, this is a bunch of stuff, that we've, it doesn't really showcase too much. There's a good block right there, a pancake block. Running through a wide open hole. I wish Madden's holes weren't as big as they are. Obviously, this is one of the clips that showed the ref on the field. Now, his positioning was a little funky to me. That's a very good block right there. Borderline, not illegal, but it's a awesome block right there. I don't like that Jalen Hurts stopped and threw. I would like to see the throwing on the run animation there. Obviously, got some new celebrations that they're showing off, the post-play celebrations. I don't like this throwing animation from Kirk Cousins. It looks awful. The head tracking there from Justin Jefferson didn't look right. And the positioning of the defender there on the interception looked very interesting too. It didn't look like it quite made sense, but I could be wrong. Obviously, Kirk Cousins getting lit up on this play looks good. That looks really good. I like that. That throwing animation, though, just really bugs me. That just looked like a short arm throw, which is good for short throws. This one right here bugged me, too. Aaron Jones, why is he not getting low? Running backs hit the hole, and they're taught, get low, so you're harder to tackle. He's running through there straight up. The pro book backs don't do that, especially elite ones. Aaron Jones is elite running back. He's amazing. He's going through the hole, and he's getting small. He's not running there straight up. Obviously, this is the infamous animation that the other thing out of this being showcased and frequent so far is that it seems to be a perfect, accurate throw every time. I have yet to see a throw like that in the footage I've seen that went 10, 15 yards over a guy's head or out in front of him or anything like that. So that needs to be tuned. Now, the new wide receiver catch animations where they're able to break off tackles. These plays last year would have been broken up or instant tackles or catches that led to tackles that didn't make sense, and now they're breaking off of them. So those new animations are very, very welcome in my opinion. Happy to see that. Anytime there's new animations overall in the game, they're good, as long as they aren't set to trigger so that you miss out on the older animations, because then you're just replacing 50 animations with 50 new animations instead of having 100 animations. The rest, presentation looks to be the same. I know we have the same commentary for the 8th year in a row, which is a Madden record, which wouldn't be a bad thing if they were a good commentary team, but they're boring, they're dull, they don't even work together in real life. The presentation sucks. Snow games look like crap. None of the presentation aspects are anything you see on Sunday. They're all just the same recycled stuff for the 3rd, 4th year in a row now. Obviously, I don't really like this because it doesn't really take into consideration players' weight and movement. Patrick Queen's a big guy, and he just got bulldozed by Josh Allen. Obviously, Patrick Queen wouldn't go high on him either. He'd go low, and he dropped the receipts on Twitter. So, interesting to say the least on some of these. We'll need to see more things. Obviously, you can tune a lot of things in the future. But anyway, guys, that is the video of my initial impressions on Madden 24 trailer and gameplay and franchise developer diary blog. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Otherwise, that's it for me. Stay tuned in the next video. Peace.